What is up, everybody? I'm William. Today I'm going to be talking about practicing your movement and shooting mechanics as a new Project Breach player. We're going to be heading into an easy map where we basically just kill all the enemies, and I'll be talking about what I think you should be focusing on as you are practicing. So firstly, you go to multiplayer here, and you can select any map in game mode here. The game mode I would recommend is Collect Intel. Collect Intel is when you kill a specific amount of enemies and collect a certain amount of intel. One thing I would recommend you to do is only go for headshots only. That's going to make practice more important and make sure that you're focusing on good crosshair placement, as well as making sure that your shots count instead of just spraying and praying. The next thing you're going to want to do here is look at the maps that features Collect Intel 𝕃𝕚𝕚𝕗𝕣. I generally like apartment map, but what I recommend is playing in a map like restaurant. Play that map for a few hours until you learn it and have the good feeling for the layout. After that, you can move on to other core maps. That way, you're not only practicing your movement and your shooting mechanics, but you're learning the maps as you go. With that said, let's jump into Collect Intel on restaurant map right now. When you are selecting a loadout, make sure you're using a loadout that you enjoy playing with. That way, you are getting used to the weapon recoil and you get used to your gadgets as well. Now let's talk about a couple of things to focus on as you are practicing when it comes to your movement and shooting. 1. The first thing we'll talk about is the leaning mechanic in Project Breach. The first thing that you need to focus on is making sure that you are leaning the right way. So if you are approaching this door from this side, make sure you're leaning to the left and not right. If you're leaning like this and coming around this edge, you're going to expose more of your body before you get line of sight. So leaning this way is much better than leaning to the right. 2. The next thing you need to focus on is spending a significant amount of time walking while AEADS, because it is very important. When you enter a room while AEADS, you can quickly snap onto an enemy and get shots accurately very fast. Never walk into a room like this. Always walk into a room while ADS and ready for a fight. This is how you want to be moving through these maps, just clearing with your sights up. 3. Another area that you want to focus on is, get squared up to these corners as you come around them. You don't want to come around this corner and then be turning. Instead, peek slowly and get the information, then kill the hostile. This is a much better way to peek the corner rather than coming around like this. 4. The last thing you need to focus on is sound. Make sure to listen to gunshots well, the enemy footsteps well, and your teammates' actions. To summarize, Collect Intel 𝕃𝕚𝕚𝕗𝕣 and restaurant map is perfect for beginners, which will take a few hours to get used to it. Make sure to practice with only headshot to improve accuracy and crosshair placement. If you are in the right side of a doorway, use left peek. If you are in the left side of a doorway, use right peek. Never peek right when you in right side, and never peek left when you are in left side. Before you enter a room, make sure to head DS and check the room before entering. Never just rush inside a room. Always get squared up to the corners, and never go around a corner and turn back. Lastly, always listen to your in-game sound. Alright, so there you have it. That's how I suggest practicing your movement and your shooting. If you work on those, hopefully you will be snapping people's heads and have that really good aim in Project Breach.